Hello, everyone. As promised, today we'll be talking about self awareness. A lot of times, we think that we know what self awareness is, or we think that we know, or we think that we are aware of ourselves. But in reality, we are not. The reason why I can clearly say that is because you see a lot of persons without boundaries, you see a lot of persons without principles, you see a lot of persons who do not know their words, who don't know their values. When we talk about sense of self or sense of awareness, it simply implies that you are at this point where you have come to realize who you are, what values you carry, and what you bring to the table, how you can impact people, no matter how little. Right, you don't need to say, "Oh, I've impacted the world." The people around you, how have you talked to them? Have they looked at you? Have they admired your character? Have they admired how you carry yourself? Have they admired how you respond to situations? Right, this all together put you to a point where you begin to know, oh, this is who I am, or this is what I can do, or this is what people think about me. A lot of times, what people think about you might not be that important, but then it contributes to how you grow, to how you think, to how you accept yourself. So as much as you can, learn to come to that point where you begin to realize that this is who you are. Right? This is who you are. When you know this is who you are, this is my what, this is my value, it begins to define how you carry yourself. It begins to define how you relate with people. It begins to define the kind of people you are associated with. Right? Now, for the women, we'll be talking about a lot of things that has been happening in the past. So before these are times, women were basically said, oh, they're basically told to not go to school, not get education, yes, get married. Sometimes when they even get married eventually and they're unable to give birth to children, right? They don't even think that, oh, this can be a health issue. They just think that, oh, she's a barren woman. And for that reason, a man who has claimed to love her for over 10, 15 years can decide to leave her. And then she'll begin to wallow in self pity. Now, the reason why you begin to wallow in self pity in that kind of situation is because you have not come to the realization of who you are. Now, a lot of times, for people to realize who they are, they must have been really hot. Now, the point is that we don't need to be that hot before we come to a realization of who we are, right? Of what value we impact in our families, in our society, right? In our community, in our streets, no matter how little. So you need to come to that point where you say, oh, this is who I am, right? I carry myself with so much grace. Oh, not because I have too much money yet. Of course, I'm going to be a billionaire. Yeah, not because you have too much money yet, not because you've made so much impact or you're well known already, but because from your little environment, from your surrounding, you already let people know that, oh, these are my values, these are my principles. I set boundaries, right? I'm not saying that you should not compromise. There are situations where you have to compromise, but let it not be your nature to be someone who always compromises. Oh, you say yes, somebody comes to tell you, or you say no, you're always two faced, right? The reason why people are usually two-faced is because they do not know who they are. They are unsure of themselves. And because you're always unsure of yourself, you would like to go with every wind that comes, every wind that blows to the east, you go to the north, you go to the south, you go. Now you realize that this is like something like a very, really terrible trait for any human to have. Be you a young person, a woman, a man, it is like a very terrible trait to have. So today, I want us to um see authors, African authors like Buchi Emecheta, Miriam Abba, and one of the ways to and their works, right? And one of the major ways to realize, to come to that point where you begin to say, "Oh, this is who I am," is to learn to speak for yourself, learn to fight for yourself, learn to say no, say yes, and stand on them. Do not always let people control your emotions. Do not always be carried away by emotions. Right? Emotion is necessary to make decisions, but it should not be your whole decision should not be centered on how you feel right now. Right? So these things are very important. Learn to speak up for yourself. A lot of people are falling into certain traps because they do not speak up for themselves. A lot of persons had to wait for them to suffer so much and be hurt by relationship, by friendship, by family before they begin to say, "Oh, I've seen this, so that's why I'm like this now." Oh, you don't need to get to that point before you begin to know who you are. People do not need to hurt you so much for you to begin to realize that, oh, this is who I am and this is the value I bring. I need to carry myself with grace so that people can respect me, so that people can see this is who I am. I need to speak up so that people can know that I have this goodness inside of me. You get so on that today I would like to say learn to know who you are. Learn to carry yourself with grace. Learn to hold right value to you. As you impact them, they impact you. Right. So they say if you're in the midst of wealthy people or a group of wealthy people, you are the least there. And if you feel that you are the least in that committee, come outside and see what value you bring. Because there you have to grow like there should be healthy competitions, right? But in that circle, you are always learning because you're with people who bring value all the time. But if you're people who has nothing to offer, you are always wallowing in self pity, and then people always tell you, "Oh, don't do this, don't do that." If you know you have issues with fear and all of this kind of stuff, avoid being with people who are scared too. Avoid being with people who are timid. Go out, speak with people, associate with people who carry themselves with grace. Associate with people who carry themselves like this with so much boldness and audacity. Don't sit at home and sometimes you realize that you're turning 30, you're turning 40, late 40s, and then you begin to realize that, oh, if I was supposed to, I regret. There's no time to regret. Carry out the actions you should as pertaining to your life, as pertaining to your purpose, as pertaining to your destiny. Do not let people treat you like trash, right? Know what you allow into your life, know what you do not want in your life. So with this, I'll be coming to an end on today's show. So I'd like you to, if you have anything to say in relation to this, you can always contribute. And then what, from your own perspective, what do you think sense of awareness is, or sense of self? What do you think causes people to lack this? Have you think that do you think our society has structured youths, women, and maybe everyone generally to be timid, to not be outspoken, to not carry themselves with grace and respect? Do you think our society and tradition has conditioned us to be in that way? Do you think that some persons just grew up to be naturally timid and all of this kind of stuff? Right. So I'd like to hear your opinions on this when I come back to read the comments. And yes, please subscribe to our channel, Bloom and Grow. Just as we speak to you every day, we learn and you learn. Subscribe to our channel and enjoy all the good things we have to bring to you. Bye and have a nice day.